You know, the fact that you even exist is, well, it's basically a statistical impossibility. No, seriously, let's do a little thought experiment.
Okay, so this is you, right here, right now, probably thinking about what snack you're gonna grab in a minute. And this is your dad. And that's his dad? Okay, you see where this is going? Let's hit fast forward, or rewind.
We're gonna fly past all the powdered wigs, and the chainmail, and well, you get it.
And eventually, you'll land on this guy. Yep, he's just kind of squatting in the dirt, maybe chewing on a beetle, and his entire goal for the day is just not dying. That's your ancestor.
See, if any single person in that ridiculously long chain of survival tripped at the wrong time or ate the wrong mushroom, you wouldn't be here. So with that in mind, let's look at the 5 times humanity as a whole almost got completely wiped out.
All right, coming in at number 5, we've got the Ice Age. Now this is the least bad one on our list, which should probably worry you. About 20,000 years ago, the planet was not exactly a tropical paradise.
Now, a 10-degree Fahrenheit drop might not sound like a huge deal, but remember, that's the global average. What that really means is it turned most of the planet into a giant frozen wasteland, where finding food was like a miracle.
So, your daily to-do list? Pretty simple, actually. First, try not to freeze to death. Then, go hunt something the size of a school bus with, a sharpened stick. Also, try to avoid being eaten by a cave lion. And oh, by the way, if you get a paper cut, yeah, that's probably a death sentence. No antibiotics, remember?
Okay, moving on to number 4. About 10,000 years ago, we humans had this brilliant idea. Hey, instead of chasing our food, let's make it grow right here. And so began the age of agriculture, which also happens to be the moment we accidentally made life so much harder.
And would you look at this trade-off? You'd think farming would be a huge upgrade, but for our actual bodies, it was a disaster. Hunter-gatherers ate all kinds of stuff, lots of protein. Early farmers, they basically lived on carbs, got all sorts of vitamin deficiencies, and their teeth just rotted away.
And here's the real kicker. When you were a hunter-gatherer, if things got tough, you could just move. But as a farmer, you were stuck. One bad drought, one big flood, and that's it. Your entire village just starved. At number 3, we have the Mongol invasions. I mean, imagine this. You're living in the 13th century, you see a dust cloud on the horizon, you've got maybe 3 minutes to freak out before your entire city gets turned into a flat parking lot.
Under leaders like Genghis Khan, the Mongols were efficient. So efficient, in fact, that they were responsible for the deaths of an estimated 10% of the entire world's population. Let that sink in for a second. 10%.
And their strategy was just brutal and effective. They'd show up incredibly fast, hit with overwhelming force, leave absolutely nothing standing, and then, get this, they'd use any survivors as human shields for their next attack. It was terrifying.
All right, coming in at a very close number 2 is the Black Death. Back in 1347, a new disease showed up that literally made breathing the air a deadly gamble. And just look how fast this thing moved. It was like a biological wildfire. It arrived in Europe, and within a couple years, it had consumed the entire continent. You could catch it from a flea bite, a handshake, or just being too close to someone who coughed. The result was a complete and utter catastrophe. We're talking about wiping out somewhere between 30 and 60% of Europe's entire population. Entire towns and villages were just gone, wiped off the map.
And that brings us to number 1, the absolute worst time to be a human being. About 74,000 years ago, a supervolcano called Toba erupted, and it came so close to hitting the delete button on our entire species.
You see, this eruption was so huge, it kicked off something called a volcanic winter. It threw so much ash and debris into the atmosphere that it blocked out the sun for 6 to 10 years. Temperatures around the world just plummeted. For the few humans alive at the time, it was the apocalypse. Plants died, animals died, everything collapsed. The human population shrank so much that some scientists think there were fewer than 3,000 of us left on the entire planet.
I mean, just think about that. Every single person alive today, you, me, everyone, we are all descended from that one tiny, tough, and incredibly lucky group that somehow made it through a decade of darkness and cold.
So when you think about it, your existence isn't just a happy accident. It's a miracle, bought with blood, sweat, and sheer stubbornness. You are literally the reason your ancestors fought off mammoths and survived plagues and volcanoes.
They stared into the abyss and didn't give up, even when the planet itself was trying to kill them. So that leaves us with one last question. You're the result of 74,000 years of impossible luck. What are you going to do with it?